So I want to start by telling you about a time in school. I was 11 to 12 years old. It was in a math class. I'm a very good math student at 11 to 12. I was a pretty good math student later, but it's a very good math student at 11 to 12. Loved math. It came very easily to me. I was in 2 grade levels ahead of where I was actually graded for. We're at the end of the year, and it's like the day before the end of the year, and we're playing this very relaxed game. A relaxed game filled with very cool older students, maybe a crush or two. But this game involves the teacher throwing a ball into the classroom. Whoever catches it gets asked a question. You answer the question. If you get it right, you get some candy, and the game continues. And I was thrown the ball, and I was asked a question. Very straightforward, simple question. And kind of blanked. And which is kind of surprising. Like normally just the stuff comes to me, but I blanked. And I kept blanking. And at this point, like a couple eyes like start to turn towards me. Maybe it's like, do we not hear him? What's going on? And I start to feel a little bit of pressure, and a few more eyes turn my way. And then I start to get a little bit of a freeze response. And at some point, the entire class is looking at me. My teacher, every student, a couple of crushes. And I freeze. And I freeze. And I freeze until I can't freeze anymore. And then I just burst out in tears. And I run out of the classroom. And I go hide in the bathroom in a stall. And I just sit there crying. So thankfully that was the only time I did that in my academic career over a math problem. But I did go on to continue to be the math student, and went on to uni, went on to engineering school, something I very much loved. I really did enjoy the honestly very straightforward, simple life I had. I was good at school. I was in a school I loved, doing a thing I loved. And then when I was around 19 or 20, it was right at the turn, second to third year of uni, I had a weird moment cognitively. Like words started slipping from my grasp, and my memory started failing me, and just some weird things started happening. So I called up my parents. It's like, what should I do? And they said, go to see the doctor, go get a scan. And I did this, and the doctor called me back and said, okay, there's something abnormal going on here, so we need to get some more tests. And I did more tests, and it was kind of a surreal experience. Just one week I was doing math problems, hanging out with my classmates, maybe taking an exam or two, but it was like a remarkably normal life. And then a week later, I was in the fetal position on a very cold metal table, about to get a spinal tap. And I hate needles so much. I remember being so intensely scared of that procedure, of what is happening to me right now, of what all of this means. And I go on and get more tests, and end up getting this remarkably strange, maybe yes, maybe no diagnosis. They're like, based on the tests, based on the biomarkers, based on everything we see, you might probably have a neurodegenerative disease called MS, multiple sclerosis. Something that at some point kind of erodes the sheathing around your neurons and causes your neurons start to misfire. You lose cognitive function, you lose motor function. And yeah, my very simple life became immediately not so simple. I was just going to go to uni, get a degree, be an engineer. Things were very straightforward. But yeah, that kind of got called all into question, like the sense of who am I if I don't have my mind? Who am I if I don't have my cognitive function? Who am I if I don't have my motor function? I just couldn't even cope with those questions. And to make matters, it's not even worse, to make them just more painful. MS is the same disease my dad has. So this is a disease I saw remarkably up close. This was a disease that I saw put my dad in bed for days and weeks at a time. And this is a man who powerlifted in college and was like the paragon of strength, and just completely laid him out. And yeah, maybe that was what I had in store. But I'm an engineer. So I don't think at the time I thought this, but in hindsight, it's definitely what happened. I decided I'm going to fix this. I am going to fix myself. Yeah. Yeah, that was at 19 or 20, and I'm 35 now, so nearly 15 years. I've been on this kind of journey of trying to fix myself. It started off so straightforward. It was just get back to uni and just get things working again. But thankfully I found meditation at some point, and that was like a real gateway in, and that really was meaningful. And I don't think I'd be nearly as well off in where I am right now had I not like had the good fortune of encountering meditation. But the meditation did have the effect of kind of steadying my mind and gave my engineering kind of mindset a sense of like, oh, there's something here. There's something I can do to like make my situation okay. So I kind of take that to an extreme. For the next 15 years, I go on loads of meditation retreats. I go to therapy. I go to so many different therapists. So many different modalities. I go and do loads of psychedelics and psychedelic retreats. I'm in the sauna and the cold plunge every day. What haven't I done? I've done breath work. I've done ecstatic dance. I've done trance dance, which is basically the two things at the same time, where you're blindfolded and screaming. And facilitators are just like, don't punch the other guy. I've done so many weird things. And one of the things I did was the Enneagram. I don't know if there are any Enneagram fans out here, but it's type 9. But it's like the Myers-Briggs. It's kind of not doing it justice to call it the Myers-Briggs, but it's a personality-esque test. And I went deep into the Enneagram, went very deep. And at some point deep into this journey, I found a quote that kind of really hit me. And I say deep, like not in a book, because I read the books, not in a talk, because I watched the talks, but in a podcast about making music about your Enneagram type. Deep. And some gent was writing a song about his Enneagram type, and he had a line. And the line was, I've been living more than half my life, less than half of who I'm meant to be. And yeah, it hit me. It was like an absolute gut punch. A gut punch on many levels. Like, I'm a type 9, I fall asleep to myself. I don't pay attention to my needs, and that's like not good on that level. But I think what really hit me was the sense of like what I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be, not what I should be or could be, or whatever the right word is to capture what I've been trying to do. been trying to fix myself, shape myself, kind of do all of these things to get myself into the right shiny object to then say, I guess that's it. But the quote left me wondering, like, that can't be it. There's no way that's it. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with that quote. It just like hit me and then kind of just continued to haunt me for a few years. Yeah. But finally, I think I found a space where I can make sense of it. A moment where it started to make sense. And that was a year and a half ago on the summer retreat from the London Buddhist Center. Yeah. So at this point, like a year and a half ago, if you can't tell I'm American, I just moved to London. I moved to London. The next day I'm on this retreat. I've got a master's starting the day after this retreat, and I have grand plans on how I'm going to start a new career. Fix myself with a nice new shiny degree, fix myself with a nice new job. And honestly, I was on this retreat just to sharpen up my mind. This was just, I haven't been on a retreat in a while, the nice little dull, and it's time to sharpen things up. And it was by day 3 or day 4 on the summer retreat. I remember walking into the dining hall. It was such a good retreat. It was just the sun was shining. It was sun the entire time. And so I'm coming up from sunbathing into the dining hall. And everyone's kind of glowing. But there's this sense that something else was happening here. I came into this retreat with a desire to sharpen my mind, to fix myself, to hone myself, to polish myself, whatever it is. But there was something else happening, and there's just a faint whisper that I caught in this scene in the dining hall. I don't know if it was the retreat leader just having a very straightforward and honest conversation with a brand new retreatant, or seeing someone else I had a lovely conversation with go deep with someone else. This is where I'm going to struggle for words, because this is so hard to point to, but it's the most important thing. There was a sense that maybe each one of us came into that retreat trying to better ourselves, trying to fix something about ourselves. But we were also doing something more. We were at least pointing, at least orienting ourselves towards who we were meant to be. And I've been on loads of retreats. Again, so many stupid retreats. I remember having a conversation with a now good friend, a guy named Rowan, but at the time I didn't know him. And we were just chatting about turning points in our lives. And I've had this conversation so many times before. It's hi, hello, this is my name, these are my traumas, this is how I worked on them. This is generally how I want to go about this retreat, and that's what I hope for the future. Okay, on to the next. So on one level, that was the conversation we kind of had. But on a different level, I feel like it was one of the first conversations where I was talking to someone else who knew there was somewhere we were supposed to be going. And I don't think I knew it. I think I maybe subconsciously knew it. I think Rowan maybe knew it a bit more explicitly. He was on the team at the time. But yeah, it's that thing. I found a space. I found a person. I found a conversation that was pointing towards more. I really liked Akasha Vidya's evocation of the acorn and the oak tree. I think it really got to something about this moment for me. I feel like my experience of retreats in the last 15 years of working on myself was pretty much me just trying to become a shinier, sleeker acorn. I am a kind of busted acorn, and I want to be the best acorn I can be. And that when I'm on retreat, I'm with a bunch of other acorns who are trying to still our acorn minds, or dissolve our acorn egos so that we can see the nature of the acorn world or something. But this was like, and sure, there were a bunch of acorns on this retreat trying to become shinier acorns. Like, I was definitely trying to become a shinier acorn. But there was a sense that we were also all pursuing the possibility of becoming an oak tree. Whether we knew it or not consciously, we were all moving in that direction. And it's that thing, that possibility of becoming an oak tree, having a space where that's alive and real, has kept me coming back. And that's why I'm a Buddhist.